Hey guys, Zach Dumber here. So the final trailer for the final season of The Boys is out. It looks great. I'm excited to see Homelander finally take control of the White House, which was ripped right out of the comic books. Homelander's takeover of the White House is a bit more bloodier in the comic books, but yeah, I'm sure the show will get there. But yeah, Billy the Butcher back with his team. You have Terror, which I love how they brought back Terror. He's one of my favorite dogs in all the comic books, one of Billy the Butcher's best friends, and like one of the most shocking scenes in the comic books is when Terror died, and Billy the Butcher hunts down the soup that killed him, and it was very graphical. And it's like the show hasn't done anything like that. Overall, the show is bloody and it's gory, but compared to the actual comic books, it's pretty tame. But overall, the show I think is better than the comic books by a lot, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, I love the comic books of The Boys. It's one of my favorite comic book series ever. But the show has taken so many liberties that it's an entirely different show, but it still keeps the core and essence of The Boys intact. One of my favorite scenes from the comic books is when Butcher's walking to the White House with just a crowbar and you have a whole whack of soup surrounding the White House. It's pretty cool, but overall, I like Carl Urban as Billy the Butcher. He's one of my favorite actors working today, and having him back with the boys is looks like it's gonna be a hell of a lot of fun. Because Carl Urban said that no one's safe in this season of the boys, and I believe him. If you read the ending of the comic book, you kind of know how things are probably gonna turn out. But the show is so much different than the comic books that I'm like, okay, bring it on. Yeah, Sister Sage is back. The characters from Gen V are in it. Everything's coming to a head in this season. Looks like it's going to be action packed. It's going to be filled with gory scenes, a lot of swearing, a lot of violence, and the exchange between Soldier Boy and Homelander, where it's like, "Did you fuck me?" That almost killed me of laughter. And it's like, Jesus Christ, this show looks like it's going to be taking so many bits and pieces from the comic book, and it's going to be adding its own little flavor to it. So I think this season is going to be fabulous. Can it stick the landing? Even the best shows around don't really stick the landing, but this show I have total faith that it will have a satisfying ending. The biggest question that everyone has is who's going to kill Homelander? Does Homelander even die? But I think it'll most likely be his son who ends up killing him. I think Ryan's going to be the one who kills Homelander. But you never know. That's what they were trying to have Ryan be in the first place, is a contingency plan to Homelander. So he's probably the only member of the show that could actually kill Homelander. But yeah, you never know. So yeah, the biggest overall difference from the comic and the show is that Billy the Butcher in the comic books is not a good person. He even says himself that he's evil. Billy the Butcher in the show has redeeming qualities, because he might, I don't know if he's still hallucinating his wife, but she seems to be the one part of him that's still, there's still hope for Billy the Butcher. I don't think he'll make it through the season, because again, if you actually read the comic books, you know that like he kind of brings it on himself, but ultimately Huey might be the one to take Billy the Butcher out. But you never know. It really looks like the show's going to have a satisfying conclusion, even if it doesn't do the same ending as comic books. Because in the comic books, Bill the Butcher, I'll spoil the comic books a little bit. He kind of goes off the rails and murders all the members of the boys. I don't think Carl Urban will do that because he seems to love his team. And yeah, you find out that Homelander's trying to become immortal from taking the original dose of Compound V, which I think is interesting. That's something that that the show's doing that the comic books never did. But yeah, hopefully Homelander ends up going down this season. I have no doubt in my mind that he will end up being killed by whoever tries to take him out. He's probably going to end up killing a few good of the characters, but ultimately I think that Billy the Butcher, or who knows who takes him out. Does Queen Maeve come back and take him out? You really don't know, but I'm excited to find out. So it looks like the show's going to have a satisfying ending. It'd be really disappointing if the show doesn't stick to land and ends up sucking. I have no doubt in my mind the show's going to be great, like it's been for the past 4 seasons. This season looks like it's going to be like, you know what? No one's safe. Everyone's going to die. I'm sure not everyone's going to die, but like the body count in this season, I'm sure is going to be high. And yeah, you have A Train back. You have these beloved characters. Like that's the one thing the show did better than the comic books. You feel for A Train, you feel for the Deep, you feel for all these characters. Where in the comic books they were just bad for the sake of being bad. They weren't good people. Where in the show you actually feel for A Train. It's like he's a good character. A lot of these characters have been written so much better than they ever were in the comics. That in the comic you didn't really care when A Train died. You didn't really care when the Deep didn't actually die in the comic books, but they were just bad people, so you didn't really care that they die. If A Train dies, I'll actually feel sad and feel sorry for him because he's been having one hell of a good redemption arc. And yeah, Kamiko can talk now, which you kind of saw a bit of that in at the end of last season where she kept screaming no. But now it's just like, no, she can talk now. And I'm like, I I love that. I love how Kamiko can talk now. And yeah, those are overall my thoughts of the final season of the final trailer anyway of The Boys. It looks good. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. Like always, like and subscribe to my channel for more. And take care, guys.